Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about how a lot of artists actually also have side jobs or just jobs, if you want to call them that, depending on how advanced you are in your career. So obviously super famous actors and actresses and writers and directors, all that, they probably don't have side jobs. However, if you're starting out, if you're an indie artist, you probably have a job. I have two jobs and I wrote 11 books. So, I mean, I do make money off my writing, but it's probably not as much as people think. Not enough to live on. Anyway, and so that's fine. That's just part of the process. That's how it goes. A lot of people, I think, get discouraged. I used to get discouraged and think, well, maybe, if I wrote this many books and I'm not successful yet, that's just something about me. But then I read about other people. It's just, that's part of what it is. You just keep working, you keep working, you keep working. You don't know who's reading your book. You don't know who's out there paying attention. You just don't know what's around the corner. And it's about timing. It's about a lot of things. But that's been my experience. And I don't have any shame for the fact that I also work. And if people kind of question me on it, to me it just kind of shows they don't really know much about what I'm doing, because like I say, it's not unusual for an artist to also be working and making a living. There's no shame in it. Anyway, so this is actually very common. It's funny because I stumbled across, it was somebody online that I watch frequently, and she was talking about that, how a lot of people have side gigs, and that's kind of the norm these days. And it may not even just be, an artist necessarily. It could be someone who has an online business on the side, but they're also working. They're trying to slowly move into that full time, but everything takes time. And I think there's also always a misconception that everything should happen quickly, and sort of the old idea is you train for this profession, you get in that profession, you stay in that profession, and that's the way it is. And it's a little more than that. Sometimes you're doing something you're like, yeah, I kind of like to try this, and you can do it on the side. And anyway, I'm kind of rambling now. With artists, it's kind of difficult because you're going up against, especially if you're indie, you're going up against the people who have, for example, I'm going up against people who have big time publishers, huge publishing houses. They're already famous in a lot of cases, and people automatically buy their books. They don't even have to know what they're about. They don't even have to know if they're good. They just buy them. It's the second they're out. And I used to get frustrated about that too. I think it's just people like an author, and it's a habit, right? And that's fine. That's cool. I think it's just people sometimes don't realize that that's not the norm. That there's so many writers out there, for example. There's so many musicians. There's so many different kinds of artists that aren't on that same scale, and they're just kind of trying to get attention and trying to get recognized and have people see their art. And you can discover so much that's amazing out there. And I'm not talking about specifically me or just writers. You go out there, there's so many sites that kind of focus on indie artists, and it's kind of neat to check out. You just never know what you're going to discover. If you are an indie artist, it's just get out there, do what you want to do. If somebody's doing it just for money, saying, well, I wrote this many books, or this many CDs, and I'm not I'm not world famous yet, oh my God, I don't know, why are you doing it? Is that the only reason you're doing it? Because if you're an artist, you have to create art. Anyway, not that you should sit on the couch and do nothing all day except create art. You should also be working and trying to, pay the bills, but that's kind of what this whole video is about, right? So the bottom line, if you're an artist and you work, that's great. You should be doing that. Don't worry about it. Just work on your spare time. You have to be dedicated to it, and you have to kind of set goals and time restrictions for certain things. I don't go out partying Saturday night and get up at 6 Sunday morning to write a chapter. Not that I'd want to do that at this point in my life, but the point is I have to kind of always be thinking ahead. Well, I have to write a chapter in this day, and I want to shoot a video in this day, and I want to post a video. You know, you always kind of have to organize your time a little bit differently. But it's doable. It's doable. And if you're a fan, check things out. Check out what's out there. Not just the best-selling this and that and the super famous. There's a lot of indie stuff out there. Indie films, for example. Really cool. Really very creative. Go out there, check it out. You might be surprised. You might be surprised. Have a great day, guys. And if you have any comments, let me know. Oh, and like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff, and you'll get my videos in your mailbox. Have a great day. Bye.